and you see it on Instagram, you see it on social. Maybe not you, Berlou, because you don't follow it, but
no.
like hashtag 90s motocross, hashtag 90s. On my social media, in the 90s they did this. The 90 guys would have never done this. Like, there's a lot of that, right? There's a lot of looking back from the fans and even the industry about what a special era it was and everything that went on, and you were a big part of that because of your image and how dominant you were. You guys were all around it, as deep as you can get into it. Is it funny to think, like, it is just, for you guys, just a job, and it's your lives, and you lived it, and you don't really, but now in 2023, like, people love it. People talk about the era that you guys were in as being, let's get back to it, how cool it was. I mean, they don't talk that way about the 80s. You know what I mean? Like, the 80s was cool, but
to be fair, the 80s teed it up for us, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
Ricky Johnson and Johnny O and
Bradshaw.
Dogger and Bradshaw was right. He's right in the middle there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's 1 year younger than me. So
Yeah.
even though he was riding his 250, like winning
You
250
raced with him.
Supercross,
that's an insane trivia fact.
I love Bradshaw.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was winning those Supercrosses
Yeah.
at 16 riding for Yamaha, So the 80s teed it up, but I mean, I think we were all like 90s was a great era for life in general.
Yeah.
Supercross was amazing.
Yeah.
We were able to grow. The sport was able to grow. A lot of cool things happened in the 90s, but I think we were all learning how to be adults too, right? So, I mean, it was just fun.
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about?
No,
Like,
but he won't say it, but he did. He had the sport on his shoulders at that particular
Of course
time.
he did,
You know, and
yeah,
he did.
absolutely.
He was able to do things that allowed that all to take place. I mean, his commercial ran at the quarterfinals of Wilmington.
Yeah.
And that was outside sponsorship coming in, but they came in because there was a personality there. And as much as, I go back to Troy, Ohio one year. We're watching Supercross because that's when Supercross would be in the middle of the summer. Bradshaw wins some races. I'm going to beat that guy next year.
Yeah.
That's why I say Bradshaw, because he was.
I
were
love
focused,
Bradshaw.
Yeah.
But he wanted to beat him. That was just part of it. But,
Do you have an appreciation that you lived in that moment?
Oh, absolutely.
You lived in that time?
Absolutely. And
I do,
I
for
think
sure.
if you go back to any sport and you were inside of any sport, there was some point back when that was the time, right? And the guys anybody that goes through any barrier, any door, they always get bloody. And he got bloody because he broke down a bunch of doors.
Yeah.
Whether that is salaries or whatever you want to talk about or any of that stuff. And then he'll sit here and say, but the 80s teed it up for him.
Yeah.
That's what's special about those guys.
Like, there's literally Instagram accounts 90s motocross.
No, I know. Yeah, no, I think
cool.
I think
it's cool.
I think
Yeah, I love it.
what's cool about today's riders, they all look back at the 90s and go, man, that was such a cool time.
Yeah.
Right? I don't
social media,
remember. I don't remember like watching 80s motocross. I don't.
Yeah.
But I'm obviously a fan of all those guys. Those guys were.
You couldn't watch
We
it.
watched
It didn't
Supercross,
exist. that was only
Coliseum maybe or something in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the couple Anaheims, the one famous one with
RJ.
David
Yeah.
and Johnny, or
86,
David
yeah.
and RJ.
MC, you're dating yourself,
86
bro.
or whatever. But I mean, I was in 86. I was racing BMX. So
Dude, you say that, but you're a mammoth in 86 on a motorcycle, right?
87.
87.
87.
Okay.
86.
My
I was
bad.
riding. I raced Paris locally on a. November 85, I got my first dirt bike, new bike.
Dude, you're badass.
And then 86,
That's
I raced
cool.
Paris.
That's cool.
And then 87, I raced Mammoth. So it happened all really super quick. But I was BMXing at the time. I wasn't really.
Wow.
I heard about like the Anaheim Supercross with RJ and David. It was such a rad race. And, I look at all that stuff now and go, wow, I wasn't there.
I think a little bit.
I wasn't there.
I think a little bit too, like, as Skip said, you grew the sport up. Also, ESPN's got on TV regularly, right? We talked about we can't see the 80s races.
Oh, for sure.
You can start seeing the 90s races.
Well, at least we were on at 2 in the morning on Tuesday on ESPN.
But like
we got on TV sometimes.
You guys were young. You were partying. The Crusty Demons of Dirt videos. That stuff comes out. It just starts looking back, and people are just like, that was such a cool time. And the racers. There's no social media. God knows. Thank God there wasn't, right?
Thank God.
Yeah.
My career would have been over.
Thank God there wasn't cell phones then.
Yeah. But you know what I mean, Berlou? You feel like you're happy that your career took place mostly there?
Oh, no. Yeah. Well, I mean, after what you're talking about now, for sure. But I would have never even thought that these guys were party animals like they were. I mean, he's kind of saying it. I think I put these guys on a pedestal. I mean, I know I was in the industry and I worked on their bikes, but I think motocross. I consider these guys the best athletes in the world. You
Right.
know?
Yep.
So when I hear about Emig in a hot tub and Jeremy party, I'm like, I don't know. I think this shit's made up.
We did it when it was appropriate timing.
Yeah.
I did.
Yes.
The rest I can't say. I don't know what
Exactly.
other people were doing, but I was serious about what I was doing. And I
yeah.
wanted people to think I was out doing that. Right? Because
That's all day
that means
long.
they're not working.
All day long.
Right? So we were like, yeah, let's just tell them I was doing this and whatever. So, look, we there are those times we were at Havasu and stuff after nationals and like 97 when I was riding a Suzuki and I was so pissed about the thing, I was like, I'm not practicing anymore. I'm only racing.
That's it.
So I'd have 5 days of vacation, then I'd race.
Right.
5 days of vacation, then I'd race. So it was a year that I needed to really reset my brain,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
I had to come out swinging the next year. But
Yeah.
it was like I said, we were all trying to figure out how to grow up. But I was very serious about the race part of it, and I wanted people to think I was out goofing off, and it happened. Everyone thought I was.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about it. Man, you used to party all the time. I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
So
But it was
It's
no
a
different,
special
no
time.
different than sitting down and we had all those guys, Stanton and all everybody's. They're all eating their salads and stuff, and I'd walk up with a thing of chocolate chip cookies. Dude, I can't eat. Just break off a corner and chew it. That's all you got to do. Just to mess with them.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you just keep it all going.
Yeah.
It was all about the.
Me and Skip used to fuck with Stan a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But I love Stan. But we had to do. We had to do
Yeah,
it.
that was part of it. It was
We
just
had to do it.
part
I think
of- part of
JMB
getting it done.
fucked with Stanton with his fucking Kit Kat
Yeah,
bars.
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his practice schedule.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
exactly.
Because he didn't really ride that much. And
Yeah.
especially when Stanton was there, he'd probably show up, ride a few laps, ride the hills,
Yeah.
and then leave.
Yeah.
Stan's like 3 30-minute motos.
Yeah, it was-
exactly.
It was a special time that you three guys were involved in 90s motocross, and I think the fans of the sport in 2023 are like, we got to get back to there, And in some ways, the sport's better now. In some ways it's not. But you guys were part of an era, I think, not the 80s and not the 2000s. You know what I mean? The 90s is when people.
Well, it all
look at
changed
it.
when
Yeah.
Carmichael came along, really. It just, everything changed,
Yeah.
really.